Robert Everett and Mangia.tv, Cooking Vamp 74. I am super, super excited to have Alex Wehrley with me. Did I pronounce that right?
You sure did. Perfect.
Wehrley with me. Empoweristagroups.com, Empowerista.me, and hashtag Empowerista. I know I'm going to get along with her. I know there's only one thing that we're going to probably differ on, because she's from the heartland, as I am, a former Miss Wisconsin, and I'm sure a Packer fan.
That's right.
And more importantly, now, what would you consider yourself in the regard of Empowerista or Empowerista.me in that role?
Sure. So I'm the creator of Empowerista, which really was born out of my storytelling. I'm first and foremost a TV host. So you may have seen me on E! or an ABC red carpet. I hosted the Miss USA telecast. I also do some acting. And when I was asking myself, okay, why do you like telling stories so much? It's been in my blood since I was a little girl. I always came back to, I really like helping others tell their best and truest story, and in particular women, because I had some really strong role models growing up who empowered me. And I think there's something really just powerful about women seeing the strength in another woman. So anyways, that's how I created Empowerista. It started out just on social media, where I would post a bunch of inspirational quotes. You probably still see those, Bob, because I'm constantly posting quotes. But it's since expanded into something more. Now it's also a mentorship program, and we have a bunch of media collaborations where we'll do features on different empowering women around Los Angeles. So it's been really great.
So the mentoring part, or is it strictly just mentoring on life's choices, or is it also mentoring on business startup, or is it a combination of both?
It's on everything. I mean, the way I really market it is for women who are in a transitional period for their career. So that is definitely a commonality, is the young women that we get in our groups. They're all ambitious and they want purposeful careers. They have big goals and high standards, but they just need a little help getting there. But we always end up talking about other aspects of life too, because it's really hard to separate our personal and professional life, because they go so hand in hand. Absolutely. So we end up talking about it all.
All right, beautiful. And I love the term Empowerista, although I really have a difficult time saying it often. I get like marbles in my mouth.
Syllables. It's a lot of syllables.
Where did you come up with Empowerista?
Because of fashionista and barista. There's so many different istas, and I wanted to do something around empowerment. So really it just was from a brainstorming session. I was like, okay, what's something catchy that I can come up with related to empowerment? And I think I Googled, catchy blog names, and somebody said, oh, just add an Ista to it and you're golden. I was like, yeah, that's genius.
That is genius. That is absolutely genius. Okay, so I've obviously been involved with social media, and I too in midlife had to change careers, as I was a floor broker in Chicago at the Chicago Mercantile Exchange for about 30 years, until technology kind of screwed the pooch on that career. And so I've reinvented myself. Mangia TV is part of that, but I've just, in your space, in the mentoring space, I've come across obviously people like Ramit Sethi, Brian Rose, who does London Real, Peter Sage, Dan Pena, of course, Tony Robbins. It seems like a very male-dominated space. Was that part of you wanting to get into it, that you didn't see enough representation for women by women?
That is really interesting. I think you're right that it started out being male dominated. I do have a lot of female role models in that space, but I did want to create it specifically just for women, because I think that there are certain topics that women struggle with more that we can relate to each other on. Like, for instance, women have a harder time speaking up and really owning who they are, and it just having the boldness to ask for what they want. You know, it's not to say that men don't sometimes deal with that issue, and it's not to say that sometimes women are really, really good at that.
Right.
But I think there's something powerful about creating a group of like-minded women who can really, really relate to each other. And I did see a void in the market for that.
Oh, fantastic. All right. I've done a lot of listening on with those people that I've mentioned, and obviously other people. It seemed, and I want to point to Tony Robbins. And one of the things I heard him say that kind of surprised me is his number one thing, as far as, you know, on that path to self-actualization and betterment, is making sure that your physical body is reared and ready to go. And I just found that amazing to me, that gets lost so much, that would be his number one thing. Do you do that kind of thing, those type of steps on?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, your body is your vehicle getting you around and helping you execute your dreams and your goals. And it's interesting how that's shifted for me, because I have a background in modeling and pageantry. So for a while there, I would just stay in shape, work out, eat healthy, because I had the motivation to maintain a certain appearance. And certainly I have partially that motivation, but also now it's more so for my health and my energy, because I can so tell the difference when I am in a good routine of working out and eating healthy. When I'm doing that, I have so much more energy and accomplish more. And it's not to say that I don't let myself splurge once in a while too. Like I like to say that 80% of the time I'm really good, and then 20% of the time I'll let myself, you know, eat cheese and drink beer.
Whoa. All right, so obviously, right with that, my cleaver came off.
Uh-oh.
Marty thought that I was getting everything, you know, stitched. I just have my business card. I cut the cleaver out. Obviously, then it's mind and body, and so do you spend time with Empowerista talking about nutrition and nourishment?
You know, we really don't too much, but one of the things that we do is we give out a lot of free content. So we have a blog. We give a lot of tips on how to live an empowered life, and that would be a topic that would come up once in a while. So we have done a few segments on that, but I will say it's not a primary factor. But I think Empoweristas in general value that. That's definitely something they value, and they value balance, because I think it's really tempting when you are very ambitious and goal-driven like Empoweristas are, to sometimes overwork and not give yourself permission just to stay inspired, to enjoy and celebrate life, but also to take care of yourself, because all those things go hand in hand. We really promote a holistic journey.
Right. And I know that this is part of your mentoring program, and I just want to touch a little bit on it, and that asterisk I have on my notes, but accountability and accountability buddies are people that are along for the ride with you and for you. Talk just a little bit about that.
Yeah, one of the most common things that I hear from the girls in my Empowerista accountability groups is, wow, I'm amazed how much that I can accomplish when I'm held accountable. We can do so much more. Going back to your fitness, you know, alluding to fitness, it's the same thing. I don't know about you, and if working out is a part of your routine, but for me, I get so much more done if I'm working out with a partner or in a group setting. I don't know if you can relate, but I get so much more done when I'm with somebody else. So it's the same for our goals. If you're working alongside someone and you're held accountable to them, we get a lot more done. And that's why when we're in a full-time job, a lot of times we are working really hard, but then once we go off to the freelance world or we're entrepreneurs, that can be one of the most difficult things for girls is to, or people in general. But what I'm finding with these women I'm working with, they're saying, oh, wow, like now I'm just accountable to myself. And it doesn't have to be that way. You can join a group held accountable by other like-minded women.
Right, exactly. It's amazing when you add that accountability, and even if it's a phone call, it's like, yeah, I said I'm going to do it. They heard I said I'm going to do it.
Yeah.
And I don't want to let them down. And by not letting them down, I'm not going to let myself down for sure. That's such a big part of it. We got a question from Martin from Cellar Angels. He says and asks, what do you know now that you wish you knew 10 years ago?
Just to trust the process. And this is something that a lot of the Empoweristas struggle with, and I still struggle with sometimes, but there's always this gap between where we're at now and where we want to be. And it can be really, really frustrating. And I had a tendency to be impatient, and of course, sometimes still do. But it all works out in perfect timing. As long as you're doing the work, it will work out. You just, small steps lead to big changes. And another thing that I tell the ladies that I work with is hold on tight to what your mission is, because you can't achieve a goal every single day, but you can work towards your mission every day. So for instance, at Empowerista, our mission is to empower women. And I have big goals beyond that. I want that to take form in someday having my own nationally recognized talk show. So
Right.
I'm probably not going to have my own nationally recognized talk show today. I'm working towards that. But today I can empower women and people in general.
Yeah, I take that to heart. And it's something that Peter Sage said that really resonated with me, that if you just keep concentrating on the value added or adding value, and just let that be your driving force, that I know that I'm adding value, that everything else is going to follow.
Yeah, totally.
I wanted to ask you if there's any one or two particular books that you might recommend to people out there on the journey towards empowerment that come to mind.
Yeah, so one that I just recently read, so it's fresh in my mind, is Year of Yes by Shonda Rhimes. So
Okay.
Shonda Rhimes is the creator of Scandal.
Right, yeah, okay.
Murder, or no, I always, How to Get Away with Murder. I always think of Making a Murder. That's a Netflix movie, or series. That's totally something different. Anyways, you know who Shonda Rhimes is, creator of a TV series on ABC. So she had this Year of Yes, where she literally said yes to everything that scared her.
Right.
And I loved it because that's something I can so relate to. I think there's a misconception that the more successful you are, the less fear and doubt you have, but I don't think that's the case. I don't think fear and doubt ever completely go away. I think just successful people know how to deal with fear and doubt and manage it, and alongside growing their confidence. And I think the biggest thing to combat fear and self-doubt is action. So this book is so much in alignment with that. It's like, if something scares you, go do it.
Right.
And then it's great because it builds so much confidence, because you end up being okay. You didn't, fall flat on your face, and everything's fine in the world.
All right, that's beautiful. I will have to get that and check it out. Another thing I've written down here that we've talked at in detail, just the knowledge of that your health, really a major part of anybody's health and quality of life is the community that they're involved with. And I think in the age of the internet, and communities come in many shapes and sizes and forms, but a support group through community is really, has been proven in the book Outliers and the book The Blue Zone Solution. Communities is what make you healthy, way more than your particular diet that you have. So just talk a little bit about that, community and Empowerista.
Sure. So we already talked about accountability. That's definitely one of the factors. Also, being around like-minded people who hold you accountable for your values and what it is that you want to achieve. That's a really big thing. And also, you kind of create this mastermind when you work with other like-minded people. When you put 10 heads together, it's a lot more effective than one. It's why in the workplace people do group brainstorming. Right. And anytime that you can brainstorm with a group or get feedback from other people, you're just going to be a lot more effective. And also, some of the one of the things that holds us back is our own self-talk and our own limiting beliefs that aren't always productive. So there's something really effective in just sharing those things with other people so they can really debunk the fact that, hey, just because you're thinking this or believing this negative thing doesn't mean it's a reality, you know?
Right. Absolutely. All right. The one book that I want to share too, that I actually didn't finish reading it. It was one of those things. I was on vacation with my sister and she had it and I kept on grabbing it and reading it. This book is called Scrum.
Okay.
It's about business modeling, and Scrum is a rugby term, but it goes to a lot of things that you've been talking about, that shorter time horizons and accountability to shorter time horizons are much better as far as outcomes are concerned, rather than, you know, saying I'm at A and I want to get to B, and B's a year down the road or 2 years down the road, or whatever. That, because as you know, as things unfold, the story changes and the directions change. So I highly recommend the book Scrum to listeners out there, and to you. Just some great points on, and you can find it on Amazon. Scrum, it's a rugby term, but this book is not about rugby.
Okay, sounds good. Awesome. I always love getting recommendations, so thank you for sharing.
All right. So if there are women Empowerista wannabes out there, what's the best way to get a hold of you and get on their journey?
Sure. Well, for daily empowerment that's completely free, I would encourage you to follow us on social media. So both Twitter and Instagram, those are our main social media networks. But on Instagram, it's Empowerista, and on Twitter, it's Alex Wehrley. But if you just search Empowerista, you'll probably find me. I'm sure you will. And then also, if you want to join one of our groups, you can go to my website, which is empowerista.me, or for even more details right away, you can just go to empoweristagroups.com.
All right, fantastic. Well, Alex, I'm super happy that you showed up and spent some time with us. Where did you grow up in Wisconsin?
I grew up in the Milwaukee area, in Brookfield specifically, and then I went to school at Madison. So I'm also a Badger.
I'm very familiar on Wisconsin.
Yes.
On Wisconsin. I actually grew up on a border town to Wisconsin, Antioch, Illinois. And I know Wisconsin very well because when I was coming of age, the drinking age in Wisconsin was 18, and Illinois was 21. So I frequented Wisconsin as soon as there was a driver's license available.
Oh, that's so funny.
So, all right, my last thing is my request for you to say, and you can say it, I know you can, Bears.
Oh,
I know you can't say it.
You might record this, and then during football season, spread around. I can't do that.
You could say Packers. You could say Packers.
Packers.
Go Packers. Martin from Cellar Angels is asking just to whisper it. All right, thank you so much.
Maybe next time I'm on.
All right, thank you so much, Alex. I look forward to following you more, and I'd love to have you back on a future Vamp.
Yeah.
Keep up the great work and empowering people. Obviously, one of the things at Mangia TV is that same thing. A lot of times more in the kitchen, or getting people to get together more regularly around food and family, supporting local. I know those all things must be dear to your heart growing up in the Midwest. So thank you again so much for hanging out with us, and we will see you soon.
Oh, thank you. My pleasure. Thanks so much. This was fun.
All right, great. All right, and now we're going to give props. Look at those props. All right, Alex. You can stick around. You can stick around and watch my food cart update. All right.
Okay. Cool.
All right. All righty. How great was that? How about a hand for Alex? All right. How about this little? How about this, everybody? I'm in the food truck. Can you see that? Can everybody see that? I am in the food truck. All right, this is the Mangia Tuscan truck wagon. It's ready to go in Sisters, Oregon. I had the mom. Whoa. Which way am I pointing? It's backwards. It's the other way. The mom stopped by. I got a picture with her in front of the Tuscan chuck wagon, opening hopefully this weekend in Sisters, Oregon. I had the fire inspector out today, and he gave me thumbs up. So I'm ready to fire up the smoker and the pellet grill. And Mom, what do you want? What can I get going for you from the chuck wagon? What, Ma, you want a flatbread? I can fire up a flatbread if you want. You want some Cajun shrimp? And we're going to be ready to roll through Memorial Day, and I can't wait to get barbecuing on the Mangia Tuscan chuck wagon. Dining grades approved. Thank you, Ron at Clean Drop. Thank you so much. But it's been quite a journey to get this thing, and of course, I've passed all of my inspections, but all with a few asterisks, and I got 2 asterisks on this one. I have a fire extinguisher. Not that I'd start a fire anywhere, but I don't have the right one. Of course, there's two fire extinguishers that I need to get in order to be completely street legal. Marty's asked, how many Tubmans do the inspection? Exactly. I got to get cooking because the envelopes have been passed out in typical Chicago fashion, left and right. Envelope. Come on, I'll take care of it. Next time you come back, you'll see. Same with the health inspector. I got the refrigerator grates. They had to be sandblasted. I got to go pick those up. But I'm on my way. I'm on my way to actually ringing the register. Ma, what can I get you? Ma, you want some meatloaf? Is she great? The Ma's 90, and she made it from Arizona all the way to Portland. Came up to the high desert for a week. She's back in Portland, and she's going to be on the Storyteller PBS. I think it's run by PBS. Next week, I'll give people links to that because she's a fantastic storyteller and has quite a story to tell. She's got me by quite a margin on meals served, though. As I highlighted before, she's cooked 100,000 meals. And so I got some work cut out for me in the chuck wagon and to catch her, man. She's like way off in the distance as far as meals cooked for people. And my goal is to catch her. I got to catch her. I got to make 100,000 meals. That'd be a big number dollar-wise if I could do that. Okay, what else do I got? Let me let's get back. So great. I love technology. See, the technology screwed me out of a job, but I'm back. All right, what else do I got? I got some news and some sad news this week. I must reach out and offer my condolences and Mangia TV's condolences to the Hicks family. Dr. John Hicks, who I interviewed on a Vamp earlier this year, passed away last week. A true healer in just the utter essence of the word, and a great advocate for evolving Western medicine to heal people instead of treating symptoms and writing prescriptions. Just a great guy, and he's going to be sorely missed. But he really did, an unbelievable thing for all of us to set that standard and to start the progression that a lot of people are on now, that healing isn't about a annuity plan for the medical drug manufacturers, that there's got to be a better way. So my condolences go out to Betsy and the Hicks family on the passing of Dr. John Hicks. Along with that, something that I found this week is, and I actually thought about Dr. John last week and found this probiotic tonic. How about all the ads that you hear now all the time about probiotics and taking them in a pill form? And he was the first one to point out to me that those are good, but those probiotic pill form is not really anything that's going to offer your digestive tract long-term health. And I found this thing, Firefly. You see that Firefly? Oh, it's green. It's disappearing on the green screen. Anyway, Firefly Kitchens. If you're in the Pacific Northwest, you can get Firefly Kitchens. They make kimchi and sauerkraut, and they also make a probiotic tonic, right? It's from their sauerkraut juice. It's got, you know, they talk about 30 billion. It's got trillions of the good guys in it. And so I'm not sure if Whole Foods is carrying this nationally, but find a sauerkraut tonic instead of taking a probiotic pill. All right, little message here. Another thing I met that guy this weekend. It's funny talking with Alex about just being patient and let the people that come into your life and see where those connections lead. I met a guy, he's got a new app out. It's only available on Apple. It's called Commentator, all right? How fun is this app? It allows you to be the commentator for any event that you're watching on TV or spectating. And how many years did we go first with Howard Cosell and then with, you know, with Brent Musburger saying, why do I got to listen to this guy? I can do better color than this guy. So comment, C-O-M-M-E-N-T, Commentator, T-A-T-E-R. He spells it like the potato. The Derby. How about the Derby? Although I got to, as far as commenting or giving color or play-by-play, I think horse racing is probably the hardest thing to do as far as announce with energy, passion, knowledge, and all the things that you need to call on the call a fantastic horse race. So that's what we got coming up this week. Absolutely. If the guy's good at it, Marty, I couldn't agree more. If the guy's good, a good horse race call that's a true art form in and of itself. So this is Derby week. I gotta tell you, we are fresh out of rub, but the Lambs Farm is running a run of rub this week, and we're going to be chock full of rub by the end of the week, hopefully. And so if you don't have any rub, your Derby party might suffer because I'm not going to be able to get you any until next week. All right. As always, thank you so much for hanging out for a little while with us at Mangia.tv. You guys have a great week. Happy Monday. Do yourself a favor and cook somebody a meal, all right? And if you're planning a summer vacation, come to Central Oregon and stop by and visit me at the Mangia Tuscan Chuck Wagon at the Beer Garden in Sisters, Oregon. You guys have a great week. Thanks for showing up. We're going to roll credits. That's what we do. Roll credits. Yeah. Have a great week.